As this nation begins its Red Ribbon campaign, we honor the courageous life of our fallen colleague, Special Agent Enrique Kiki Camarena. Kiki was one of the best agents in our history. He had uncovered wholesale drug operations and is said to have cost the Guadalajara cartel $8 billion in lost sales. For that noble, bold work, he was killed by Mexican drug traffickers in 1985. Kiki's courage and sacrifice are hallmarks of honor, not just to the DEA community, but to an entire grateful nation. We will never forget him, and we are so honored that his wife and children remain an active part of our DEA family. In fact, just recently, when the DEA Target America exhibit opened in Dallas, it was an honor to have Mika Camarena, Kiki Camarena's widow, and their son, Eric, with us for the opening of our narco-terrorism exhibit. Out of Kiki's death arose new hope in our fight against drugs. The life of this brave husband and father impassioned Americans to keep drugs out of our communities and away from our children. The very year he was killed, the Red Ribbon Campaign was created. Started by Kiki's friends and hometown neighbors, the campaign has grown into a nationwide network of millions of people in communities large and small, all supporting drug-free lives. The brave men and women of DEA and our law enforcement partners are proud to join with teachers, parents, and communities, not only during Red Ribbon Week, but every week. Together, we continue Kiki's legacy, bravely standing on the front line, creating a drug-free future for our children.
Since 1985, the last 7 days of each October have been Red Ribbon Week. In cities and towns large and small across this nation, millions of people, young and older, take part in a series of grassroots activities that have but one goal: to create an attitude of intolerance to the use of illicit drugs.
I think it's an excellent idea to have Red Ribbon Week because it gives the children an opportunity to come out and have a good time, as well as get educated on what's going on in the community and the different programs they have for children to keep them off the street.
In every sense, Red Ribbon Week is a life-affirming and humane endeavor. But like many hugely positive things, it grew out of something profoundly negative: the savage murder by Mexican drug traffickers of a Drug Enforcement Administration Special Agent, Enrique Camarena. His nickname was Kiki. Kiki Camarena was born in the Mexican border town of Mexicali and raised in the California border town of Calexico. In 1985, he was 37, a husband and a father. For 4.5 years, he worked out of DEA's office in Guadalajara, Mexico. On February 7, 1985, on his way to meet his wife for lunch in broad daylight, he was abducted.
He was taken to a house not too far away from the consulate where he was tortured. He was kept alive by injections so he could relay more information about what he knew about the traffickers. And after a few days of torture, he was killed.
Kiki Camarena was dead. A martyr, he sacrificed his life for what he deeply believed in: the need to forcefully, continually, and powerfully confront traffickers whose illegal drugs produce violence, rob hope, and destroy lives. His body was flown back to the United States aboard a military plane. It was a sad journey, but out of that sadness, out of the revulsion at the horrific and ugly reality of Kiki Camarena's death, a beautiful and optimistic idea sprang to life, an idea that grew into the Red Ribbon Campaign.
Kiki is not the only special agent who has returned home will return home on his shield. We shall not fail to honor his trust in us.
Over the years, the Red Ribbon Campaign has expanded and flourished. Animated by Kiki's memory, its success both honors and is the legacy of a brave and good man.
In 1985, I almost called it a phenomenon. There was no connected movement. In other words, there was nobody championing a Red Ribbon Campaign, but those communities that popped up, creating campaigns across this nation, independent from one another, came up with this symbol, the red ribbon. And the symbol was a declaration of the shed blood of an honored man, a fallen DEA agent. And it had the connectivity that we were honoring him by wearing this ribbon in memory of Enrique Kiki Camarena.
Well over a decade of Octobers have come and gone since Kiki Camarena's brutal murder. And in the last 7 days of each of them, Red Ribbon Week has been the public part of an ongoing Red Ribbon campaign with 3 major goals. To create awareness concerning drug problems facing every community, to build community coalitions to implement drug prevention plans, and to provide activities to support drug-free youth. Spearheaded by the National Family Partnership, encouraged by the Drug Enforcement Administration and its network of demand reduction coordinators, the campaign in general, and the week in particular, have become integral parts of the lives of millions of ordinary citizens in hundreds of locales. Its activities and the strong positive feelings it engenders make Red Ribbon Week nothing less than a clear, unequivocal, collective statement that in every area of a participating community's existence, in its schools, in its various workplaces, in its homes, the use of illicit drugs is unacceptable, period. That's certainly true in Pensacola, Florida, and a host of other places.
Each year we try to expand it to include more groups and try to make that pie a little bit bigger instead of sharing the pie. And a lot of people think when you make the pie bigger, you get a smaller piece. We try to make the pie a lot bigger and make the events better, make it geographically more diverse, and just keep it going bigger and better every year. And by forming the prevention people at CDAC, DEA, the Sheriff's Office, the Police Department, we can basically come up with the resources to do just about anything we want. We just have to prioritize the events and coordinate the times, and we do it.
Red Ribbon Week has to be aimed to reach the whole community, because if we just give our kids a prevention message in the school, they still have to go home. They leave the school and they go to their community. And what we want to do is make sure that the message they get in their school is consistent with the message they get in their community and the message they get in their family. But our main emphasis is to combine prevention efforts with the family, the community, and the school. And that's what we try to do by getting all of our agencies, all of our nonprofits, law enforcement agencies, civic organizations together to get this message across to as many different people in as many different ways as we can.
The message that we want to send to the people in this community is very simple, that drugs are still a bad thing, that we don't want them here, that the community does not want them here, and that it's not okay to use drugs.
For the National Family Partnership, the Red Ribbon Campaign is a long journey, one that won't end until the United States is a drug-free nation. The expertise the partnership has gathered, its know-how about planning a Red Ribbon Week, is available to any community wanting to take part in that journey. For DEA, an abiding interest in this effort derives from the inescapable fact that the campaign's origin lies in the death of one of its special agents. It is a connection of emotion and substance that will never be severed.